Have you ever felt like you're just existing, not really living, just going through the motions? You wake up, go to work or class, eat, sleep, and repeat. On the outside, everything looks fine. You have a job, a place to live, people around you, but on the inside, there's a quiet, heavy fog, a sense of being lost, even when you know the way home. If this feeling sounds familiar, then this story is for you. It's for anyone who feels stuck, tired of the silent pressure to have it all figured out, and is just looking for a little bit of clarity in the noise. Let me tell you about Alex. Alex was 28, working a decent job in marketing. From the outside, he was doing well. He had a small but neat apartment, a steady income, and friends he'd see on the weekends. He wasn't struggling with money or unemployment. His struggle was quieter, deeper. Every morning, his alarm would go off, and the first thought that hit him wasn't good morning, but again. He'd scroll through social media, seeing friends getting engaged, bouging oasis, traveling the world. It wasn't jealousy he felt, not really. It was more like a sense of falling behind in a race he never even signed up for. At work, he was competent. He completed his tasks, attended meetings, and smiled at his colleagues, but his mind was a million miles away. He'd stare at his computer screen, the words blurring into meaningless shapes, and wonder, is this it? Is this what I'm going to be doing for the next 40 years? The pressure wasn't from his boss. It was from within. The pressure to feel passionate, to have a purpose, to be excited about his own life. The evenings were the hardest. He'd come home, the silence of his apartment amplifying the emptiness he felt. He'd try to start a new hobby, painting, learning guitar wood. The motivation would fizzle out after a few days. It felt like trying to light a fire with damp wood. He was just so tired. Not a physical, sleepy kind of tired, but a deep, soul-level exhaustion. He was burned out from overthinking, from constantly questioning every choice he'd ever made. One Saturday, instead of meeting friends, Alex drove to a small coastal town he used to visit as a kid. He didn't have a plan. He just needed to get away from the familiar walls of his life. He walked along the beach, the cold wind whipping at his face. He watched the waves crash against the shore, over and over again, in a constant, relentless rhythm. He sat on a cold, damp rock and just watched. 4 hours. He wasn't thinking about work, or his future, or what it was supposed to be doing. He was just there. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, an old man walking his dog stopped nearby. He looked at Alex, then at the ocean, and said, "It never gets tired, does it? Just keeps showing up, day after day." Alex just nodded, not really wanting to talk. The old man continued, "You know, we humans think we need to make big, loud waves to matter. We think we have to have it all figured out. But maybe," he paused, looking at the gentle foam washing over the sand, "maybe it's enough to just keep showing up. To just be gentle with yourself, like the tide. It goes out, but it always comes back in." That simple conversation hit Alex like a lightning bolt. It was the turning point. He realized he'd been putting so much pressure on himself to be a tidal wave, to make a huge splash, to have this grand, earth-shattering purpose. He was so focused on the destination that he'd forgotten how to just be on the journey. The old man's words gave him permission to stop fighting, to stop striving so hard. It was okay to be the gentle tide. It was okay to just show up for his own life, day by day, without needing a grand plan. The realization was this: the goal isn't always to find a dramatic, life-changing purpose. Sometimes, the goal is just to find peace in the present moment. It's about letting go of the world's timeline and honoring your own. It's about understanding that rest isn't laziness, it's recovery. Alex understood that his burnout wasn't from his job. It was from the internal war he was waging against himself. The constant comparison, the relentless. The moment he decided to be gentle with himself, the fog started to lift. He didn't quit his job the next day or book a one-way ticket to a faraway land. The changes were small, almost invisible to the outside world. He started taking short walks during his lunch break, just to feel the sun on his face. He deleted the social media apps that made him feel inadequate. He started a journal, not to track goals, but just to write down one small thing that made him feel calm that day, the taste of his morning coffee. The sound of rain against his window, a good song on the radio. He stopped asking, "What's my purpose?" and started asking, "What feels right now?" The moral of this story isn't about finding a magical answer that solves everything. It's that the path out of feeling lost isn't a map, it's a compass. And that compass is self-compassion. It's about giving yourself the same grace and kindness you'd give to a friend who is struggling. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be a tidal wave. It's okay to just be the quiet tide. Coming back to yourself, day after day. Your journey is yours alone. And the only right pace is the one that feels peaceful to you. If this story resonated with you, just know you're not alone in feeling this way. Maybe take a moment today to just breathe and be present. You don't need to fix everything at once. Just be a little kinder to yourself. That's where the real journey begins. Thanks for listening. If you found some peace in these words, consider subscribing for more stories like this. Take care.